Hey there, thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Spiritual Scientist. That's what the channel's called. Thanks for tuning in and checking me out. Thought I'd change it up a little bit. And some people messaged me a while back to go, why do you call it The Spiritual Scientist channel? What makes you... It's the name of the channel. Relax. So, what to do if you find yourself inside a simulation? Don't panic. It's the I'm taking that from that book, but anyway, there was the one about the dolphins, and never mind. Anyway, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Yeah, don't panic. So you just need the towel. So I'm going to talk to you about white noise, which is really crazy. And so here we go. So I started watching White Noise. I haven't finished it. I got up to the part where they talk about it being a simulation. So this will kind of be mind-bending. I get into some next level stuff, as I've been told. Here we go. So started watching White Noise. The guy talks about Hitler in it, the lead character, which is the guys, the guy from Star Wars. He was Darth Vader. Not Darth Vader. Anyway, he was the other guy. Driver's his last name, right? So anyway, he's in the movie, lead character, and they call him brilliant. And then he talks about Hitler a lot. So he studies Hitler. All he does is talk about Hitler. At the beginning, he's a professor on Hitler at a small town, and he says he's brilliant, and he says during it that Hitler has a noise in his left ear, which is kind of telling for things. When I talked about these kind of things before, I said things come into your left ear. I said it's evil. Right ear, it seems pretty good when you hear frequency. So I digress a little bit, but it's kind of important to the story. So when he goes and ignores everything, okay, so he ignores, I'm not going to ruin the story, the movie White Noise, but when he ignores everything, and he's brilliant, but he ignores it. A lot of people, we ignore what's in front of us, right? Then he goes and anyway, he gets to a part where they're the government's there, and they're finally checking him in, and they have computers. Now, this was filmed in 2022, and they used the actors from East Palestine. They used the actors were actually citizens. The extras were actually citizens that were just in this horrific train derailment where they lit off these toxic chemicals and the plume clouds, and you know the story perhaps. If not, look it up. So within the movie, there's a train derailment, and it releases these chemicals, which are toxic plume. Some of the crazy parts are as follows. That's crazy. And then the government shows up, and the government's there, but they have armbands, and it says simulation basically on the armbands, and they're trying, and the guy's like, I don't understand, is this a simulation or is this real? And the guy says to him, well, in actuality, we do simulations, but we're practicing our simulations by doing things in real life. Okay? So if that's not mind-bending enough, and he's like, what? So he's trying to figure out, so is this a simulation or is this real, he says. So now he's having that existential crisis that a lot of seekers are having. Are we in a simulation or are we real? And at that point, the guy says, well, we're trying to get funding for this so we could do more simulations. So he's still trying to understand. And what they told him is he was outside for 2.5 minutes and he's basically going to die from, the toxic chemicals. Like we're all going to die in real life eventually. So he's questioning it's really an existential moment. So he's questioning the reality of this whole situation. He's like, is this a simulation or is this real? And the guy goes, oh no, this is real, but we do simulations. So it's very, very telling, very mind-bending. And then he goes, well, so are you saying, so the guy says, well, we're doing computer projections based on this is real life, the guy says. Well, what's it say? What's a computer say? And basically it says, yeah, you're going to die. And the guy's like, so it's just so mind-bending that there's a movie about a train derailment using the extras that were actually in real life having a train derailment, and in the movie there's a toxic plume, and in real life there's a toxic plume, and then they have to evacuate, and in real life they have to evacuate, in the movie in real life. So it's not just close, it's the people who are extras in the movie were in real life, they had to have the same thing happen. So I've talked about how movies are emulated in real life. What happened in movies, we had in Game of Thrones, they had the White Wolves, and then all of a sudden White Wolves show up. But in Harry Potter, we had the creatures. So I was focusing before about the creatures, we had the Phoenix bird, and then we have the real life Phoenix bird. It doesn't actuality, blow up and get on fire and come back, but it was a legend, and now they have it in China and they have it there in real life, which makes almost no complete sense, any sense rather. But to get right back to it, is this a smoking gun showing that you're in a simulation? No, it's not. Is there anything? No, not really. But it does correlate to this whole idea of what we put down is like a template for our reality and what manifests. So it's like whatever you really think is going to happen, and it seems to be happening. Like people have been thinking about Project Bluebeam and aliens, and all of a sudden we have this kind of thing happening. So it's like if you really think about it, it seems like it's going to happen. And I've been saying that for years. When we start to ascend into a fifth dimensional mindset, then things are going to happen pretty quickly, and all what you're thinking might be manifesting. I've been saying that for a while. So in the movie, I started watching something else about it. It was Forbidden Planet. It's an old movie. In the movie, they have the aliens that aren't on the planet anymore, the Krull. So the Krull have left these machines that can turn your thoughts basically into reality. So we have the subconscious mind of the smartest person that is on the planet, and his subconscious mind manifests things into reality. And so what we have is this kind of emulation of what's in movies as in reality, but it gets pretty weird when they actually have the actual people that are in the movie simulating a disaster, and they talk about that it's a simulation in the movie, but that it's actually real, and the guy questioned his whole reality. And then the people who are the extras are actually real life extras in their own real life movie about the real life situation at the same place that they filmed it. Now, my family started watching it, the movie, and I didn't watch it. So I didn't watch it. I started watching it just the other day. The next day after they started watching it, it happened in real life, and people are saying to me, you got to watch this movie. It's like what happened. It's not just like what happened, it's what happened, which no one's really talking about. So I thought I'd talk about it and put this out there and see what you guys want to say to me about it, because it doesn't get any weirder than this. If you make a movie about, a disaster using extras randomly at one small town in the United States, and then in the movie itself you have them talking about, is this a simulation or real, the lead character, and then and then soon after it really happens, and people question their reality because of this movie that questions reality, and did it bleed over into our reality by that. So it seems to be that when we question the reality of our situation and we feel unsure, then the unsurety leads to the manifestation of these things into our reality, if that makes sense. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe, share. Do not panic. Grab a nice fresh towel. Have a great day. And that's in the book, if you don't know what I'm talking about. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Bye-bye.